my dear students. Today we are going to see about asexual and sexual reproduction in plants. That is chapter 1. Reproduction is a vital process for all the species. For the existence of the species is a very important process. It is a method of producing new individual from the parent organism. It brings suitable changes through variation in the offsprings for their survival on earth. Reproduction helps an important role in evolution. So that is the reproduction. What is reproduction? Reproduction is a vital process for the existence of a species, and it brings about changes through variation in the offsprings for their survival on the earth. Reproduction is of two types: asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is a method of is a very important method of reproduction taking place without the involvement of the gametes. Mainly the asexual reproduction takes place in lower group organism. When reproduction takes place without the gamete, it is called asexual reproduction. There are different types of asexual reproduction take place, and that we will see. The following are some of the methods of asexual reproduction in lower group organism. First method by conidia. For example, in the case of Aspergillus, in Penicillium, the asexual reproduction takes place by conidia. Conidia is an asexual reproductive spores. They are produced externally, and each spore, each conidium, when fall on the moist suitable substratum, that will germinate into a new organism. That is by means of conidia. Second, by budding. For example, in the case of yeast and hydra, a number of bud-like structures are produced from the parent plant, each one detached from the parent plant and produces a new organism. That is budding. The third method is by fragmentation. For example, in the case of Spirogyra, Spirogyra is a filamentous green alga. Here, the plant body is a long filament-like. During fragmentation, the filament will be broken down into a number of bits. Each one is called fragment. Each fragment grow into a new Spirogyra thallus by cell division. That is the fragmentation method of asexual reproduction, can be seen in Spirogyra. The next method by gemme. In the case of Markensia, Markensia is a bryophytic organism. On the thallus, on the dorsal surface of the thallus, a number of cup-like structures are produced. They are called gemme cup. Inside the gemme cup, spores are produced. They are called gemme. Each gemma germinates into a new thallus of Markensia. The next one is regeneration. In planaria, regeneration method of asexual reproduction takes place. Here, the body is divided into, cut off into a number of bits. Each one will produce a new organism. That is regeneration. So that is the regeneration method as far as planaria is concerned. The next one is by binary fission. That's a very common method in most of the bacteria. In bacteria, binary fission takes place by means of a bacterium divides equally into two organisms. So that is the main multiplication of bacteria. That is the main asexual reproduction as far as bacteria is concerned. The individuals formed by asexual reproduction are morphologically and genetically identical, and they are called clones. So far we have seen a number of asexual reproductive method in lower group organism. Number one, conidia by budding, fragmentation, gemming, regeneration, binary fission, etc. In all these methods, clones will be produced. What are clones? Clones are individuals formed by asexual reproduction. They are morphologically and genetically identical, and each unit is called clone. Asexual reproduction also takes place in higher plants. There are two methods of asexual reproduction in higher plants. One is natural method and another one is artificial method. Natural method of asexual reproduction, and second one is artificial method of asexual reproduction. Natural methods. Vegetative reproduction, when vegetative reproduction takes place naturally. Vegetative reproduction means by means of vegetative pause, when new organisms are produced, that is called vegetative reproduction. In the case of plants, by means of root, by means of stem, or by means of leaves, when new plants are produced, that is the vegetative reproduction as far as plants are concerned. In the natural method of vegetative reproduction, buds grow into a new plant. A number of buds are produced. Each bud grow into a new plant. Buds are formed from a root, maybe from the root or maybe from the stem or maybe from the leaves. From the root, from the stem, from the leaves, adventitious buds are produced. Those adventitious buds grow into a new plant. At some stages, buds grow into new plants and they detached from the parent plant to develop into new plants. Some of the organs involved in the vegetative reproduction serve as organs of storage and pollination. What is pollination? Pollination is the ability of an organism to survive from germinating season to the next season. For example, in the case of rhizome of ginger, several buds are produced, axillary buds are produced, each one growing into a new thallus. So that part is the pollinating part. Process is called pollination, ability of an organism to survive from germinating season to the next season. Diaspore. There are some reproductive propagules are produced during vegetative reproduction. Those reproductive structures are called propagules. The structures, the vegetative structures used for propagations are called reproductive propagules or diaspores. So that is about the vegetative reproduction in higher plants. First, we have to see the vegetative reproduction in roots. Roots of some plants develop vegetative buds or adventitious buds. Each bud grow into a new plant. For example, in the case of Murraya, in the case of Dalbergia, in the case of Millingtonia, numerous buds are produced from the tuberous adventitious roots, which develop into a vegetative buds, and they store food material that is used for reproduction, vegetative reproduction. Say, for example, in the case of Epomia batatas and Dalbergia. Buds also, the buds after maturity detached from the parent plant and grow into a new plants under suitable condition. So each bud also grow into a new plant. So that's all about the root system, the vegetative reproduction by means of the root system.